Hello everyone, welcome back to another Subdivision Surface modeling tutorial in Cinema 4D. Even if you don't use Cinema 4D, I am sure that you will find something useful about subdivision surface modeling techniques. And this is our target object, and this is what we get at the end of the tutorial. By the way, this tutorial may be a little longer than the other ones because it's gonna be a raw tutorial, no editing, so I will make mistakes and I will try to solve them as many of you have requested before. So let's jump in. I will start with the image plane as usual. Go to front view, shift and V back and select the image plane. You can give some transparency. Let's start with a cube. I will scale it over here. I will just try to get the basic shape, no fancy bevels, extrude. I will make it editable. Polygon mode, select that polygon with rectangle selection, control. One more time, switch back to points mode. And for the bottom, I'm gonna select that polygon, press control. And this is gonna be enough. Maybe we can add a loop cut to the center, then increase that to, let's say, 3 cuts. Switch back to points mode. Move the points. Since we are gonna use subdivision surface, I'm gonna slightly position these points above the surface. Okay, not bad. I'm gonna select them all and scale them. I suppose it should be something like that. I don't know. By the way, you can see that I can fastly switch between points, edge, polygon, and model mode. I just assigned some shortcuts to these modes, like go to customization, command manager, search for points. Like this is the same one with this one. I assigned one. Same thing for the edge mode. Like this one, edge mode assigned 2. Same goes for polygon mode 3 and for the model mode 4. This one looks okay. Now another cube. First scale, make it editable, polygon mode, press control, extrude. One more time, points mode. I will press shift at the center loop cut. I will add, let's say, 3 again, 3 cuts. Switch to points mode. Okay, that looks fair. Now I will select them all, scale them. It looks like the top part should be slightly, smaller than the bottom one. Something like that. I will add a loop cut to the center, then switch to edge mode, double click on these. This time I'm gonna bevel these. I can't. Let's solo object and let's see what's going on. As you can see, we have 4 points, which there shouldn't be. I'm gonna undo that, select these one more time. This time we have 2. I'm gonna melt these. Let's bevel them one more time. Okay, now it works. So the blade should be something like that in terms of scale. I don't know. We are not here for the mechanism of the object. We are just interested in the shape. So let's press Control, extrude, press Control, Control, points mode. One more time. it looks like I extruded the edges. I'm gonna undo that. So be careful while you select what you select. Sometimes you can accidentally extrude edges, and this is going to be a pain in the ass later. So I will select polygons, points mode, move, polygon mode, points mode, polygon mode for the last time. Just like that. Maybe they are too wide. I'm gonna scale them, and something is going on over here. I will just select these, dissolve, points mode, line cuts, connect these, maybe a single line. I can delete that point. Actually, we have more than one. Just delete them. Now what? Let's unsolo. This time we need to make space for the blade in that part. So let's create a loop cut. But first let's close that hole. Close polygon hole. Close. No, I should make perfect loop cuts. No. So let's check it. Let's find out what is the problem. So it should be on these 3 polygons, because loop cut stops here or here. So I will switch to points mode. Check the points. No. So let me add a subdivision surface and enable lines, so we can see what is the problem. Okay, it's obvious that these edges shouldn't be that sharp. Probably we have leftovers inside here. So let's select this selection. I will hide this. Yes, this polygon. I'm gonna just delete it. Selection, show all. Now I should add a loop cut. Yes, perfect. Press shift, unsolo, edge mode, double click on these. I'm gonna bevel them, something like that, so that the blade will fit inside. Maybe we can increase the subdivision to 1, because I'm gonna use symmetry later, so that I can select these center edges and delete the other side. Now let's add another loop cut here, so that I can select these, and let me solo that, select these and delete them. While we are here, let's reselect these edges, make a fill selection, then delete. I will check these center edges to make sure that they are perfectly flat on the Z. Make sure that it's on the world. So Z and the position and size of the Z, 0. So if I add a symmetry, it's gonna work perfectly. I just need to change the mirror plane. Nice, turn that off. Now we need to close here, of course. I will select these, then select stitch and sew if I can find that. Yes, this one. Connect these points, but remember to press shift, then close polygon hole. Never mind the engram, we are gonna look at that later. Also, let's add the loop cut to that object, so that I can select that part and delete. And I should check these edges, they should be perfectly flat. And you can see that position and size is not 0. So set them to 0. Now if I put that cube under the symmetry group, it should work. But we need a single group. Select them, Alt and G. Now everything looks perfect. Maybe not here. So let's select that. We need more space. So let's see if I can move them like that, or maybe can select these, move them more. Okay, I can go back to points mode. I can get rid of that edge loop. That might be too much. You can see it from the top view. I will double click on these and set their position and sizes to 0 one more time. Because apparently we have moved some of the points, like these ones. So if you don't want to do these manually, you can select them and set their position and sizes to 0. No, not positions, just the sizes. And these as well. Actually, there's gonna be a second blade, so need more space on this one. So I should select that polygon and move it somewhere here so that the second blade would fit in. Okay, I think this is gonna be enough for the basic shape. Now it's gonna be much easier for us. Let's start with the bottom object. I'm gonna rename that to bottom and hide it top one for the moment. We are gonna work it later. So let's check it. Obviously we will need a disk shape over here. So for a reference, I will create a disk, change the mirror plane orientation, scale it. So this should be enough. I will go back to disk and lower the segments, like let's say 12. 8 might be too low, or anyway, let's go with 8. I will rotate it though to get a similar orientation with the bottom object. You can see the edge. It has a slight rotation. Then I will select that object. Obviously we will need some supporting edges. I mean more segments, like here and here. To do that, let's first add a loop cut right here. This should be enough. Now I can move that point over here, can move it over here and move it over here. To get a perfect shape, I will enable snap, especially the point. Now I can snap these. Perfect. We are gonna have another disk shape inside of that, so I will scale that to, let's say, somewhere around here. Select the bottom object, select these. These 4 polygons should give me 8 points, which is perfectly what we want. We have the disk with 8 segments. I'm gonna make an inset. Now, as I did before, I will snap these points. Okay, looking good. We can turn off that disk. Now, if I lower the transparency, you are gonna see that we have this, the bevel. these polygons. So if I want to get this by loop cut, probably I will not get what I want. So you can see it. So the second option is to select these edges, and let me turn off that snap. Select these edges manually. So these are the ones that should be beveled. Yes. So I'm gonna select slide, press Ctrl and slide. Let's see. I should come somewhere around here. Then I will double click on this and push them back. Or we can select these. And move them instead. Okay, it is coming together, but we made some mistakes, like selecting that polygon. So I'm gonna undo that, deselect these ones, and move them one more time. Okay. By the way, I am pressing Q to enable subdivision surface. We may need to change some positions over here, because you can see that we have this kind of, we have a curve around here. So instead of that, we should have something like that, if you know what I mean. So that edge should be somewhere here, because it's gonna make here sharpen, even though if I move it over here to get a curve. So we should slide it somewhere here. Maybe we can slide it. Then this one. Then let's try to move that. I will press Q. Okay, I should move these back. To be honest, that edge will make things a lot harder, so I'm just gonna dissolve these, except that one. No, actually I should include that as well. Okay, this is much better. Now I should lower these. Then I should select them both and higher these up, so that the more I lower these, the more curvier the shape gets. And this is exactly what we want. Like this, you can see it. You may get this, just select the points. Same here. I will right click on one of the axes, change it to world, move them up, points mode, same stuff, press Q. It looks like it should be lower. Then here, I'm gonna select them all and move them here. Press Q. I think I can get rid of that H. Points mode, press Ctrl. I cannot slide it here, so I'm gonna go here, then solve. For here, let's make a quick cleanup. M and N, dissolve. Then same here. Oh no, actually I should melt them instead of dissolve. Melt, so that I can keep these points. Can delete that point. So what are we gonna do? First, line cuts. I can, let's see, connect it over here. Then for this one, I can connect back here so that I can get a quad. Then another loop cut. Then this will go here. Press Q. I should move these to get a better curve. Okay, it's coming together. Now, you remember these bevels? I will make them sharper. To do that, loop cut. First one over here. Then this one. Alright, looking good, but I'm gonna undo that because we need a slight offset on that point, like that. Then I'm gonna hit these loop cuts one more time. Okay, but I am not satisfied with the curve. I mean, I want that part to be more rounder. So I'm gonna select these, move them here, then here. Okay, now it is looking much better for me. Now let's check inside. If you press Q, you can see that because of that engon with empty point, we have this shape, but we want something sharper. First, I can add a loop cut here, but because of the topology, I cannot add that. So why don't we select these? Actually, we don't even need to select. Go to front view, line cut. This time I will turn off visible only and make my own cut. Perfect. Now I will switch to points mode. Press Ctrl. We need to merge these. Same here. But these should stay away from that one. Otherwise, it's gonna make here sharper. Like if I slide them, you can see the effect. We want something softer. Here, of course. Again, because of the engon, cannot get a complete loop cut, as you can see. But we can cut, then go back to line cut, and I will bring back the visible only because we don't want to cut something unwanted. Now let's try to fix these engons. We have two, one on the top, one on the bottom. So if I switch to line cut and cut here, you can see that I'm gonna get quad. Let's continue. Also, this is gonna act like a supporting edge, which will get a sharper shape. Same here. To get rid of that triangle shape, I mean, it's a polygon, but if you calculate the inside angles, this is something nearly to a perfect triangle. Like if I slightly move that point, this polygon will turn black. So let's select that edge and move it like that. Press Q. Nice. For the inside, we left that a huge hang-on, but it's not gonna be a problem. Just select inset these. Actually, let me undo that, turn on symmetry and enable these options so that we will not get the center polygon, which will break the symmetry. I'm gonna inset one more time. This is gonna act like a supporting edge. If I press Q, it's gonna be so soft, but if I make an inset, these are gonna be sharp. We still have these hang-on though, but since this is an ending, we have infinite opportunity to create loop cuts. Then I can select line cut, or you can select the points and press sorry, I turn on axis accidentally by pressing L. Turn that off. Now select. Then right click. It should be connect points and edges, or simply double MM. Now we have one hang-on, but I will not touch that. You can see if I enable Subdivision Surface, it's gonna handle that easily. We will need an extra supporting edge on here, because we want something sharper. Press Ctrl, extrude, press Q. Now this is looking much better. Now let's check here on that disk shape. I will make another inset. So this is gonna act like supporting edges. And press Ctrl slightly one more time. These are gonna act like supporting edges. After that point, I can split this UNP, or it should be somewhere here. Yes, split. Go back to the original one, delete, select that one. I'll press Ctrl, extrude. Let's see, I need another inset. Then move them like that. Another slight inset, then press Ctrl. One more time with a supporting edge. Press Q. We will need, of course, more of the supporting edges. Loop cuts. First one here, maybe to the inside, and here. These edges are too close to these ones, so this may create pinching or imperfection on the surface. You may not see it much, but actually there is a slight shadow on here. So let's select these and move this away. Maybe we can select this as well. Okay, much better. I still not like here. Let's move them back and move them like that. Okay, I think for this piece we are done. Now we can work on the top one. Let's rename that to top. And this is, I don't know what name. Cylinder, very original name. Let's unsolo and hide these ones. We're gonna work on this. First of all, I suppose we should split the blade parts. So let's switch to polygon mode, select these. Actually, I should add that cut and that cut so that I can select these and select that. So This is gonna be entirely for the blade, which will fit in that top part. I will split, go back to the top and delete. Rename that to blade and like them for the moment. Kind of solo. First, let's seal these edges, press shift, connect these, then close polygon hole. Now let's press Q and check the overall shape. I think we are in a good shape. I mean, maybe we can lower that. Okay, we are gonna check these later anyway, so I'm just gonna leave them like that because we have more challenging parts. So if I subdivide, I get this. I don't know what's going on. So we have an empty edge over here, which you rarely see that. I'm just gonna delete it, then something else will happen. Let's try to move that edge and see what's going on. Okay, very odd. I will select these and merge them, then these as well, press Q. I will select all the points because it looks like we have a bunch of duplicate points. Like if I select here, it says 2, like here, same. So instead of merging them by the weld tool, why don't we select them all and optimize them? Check here, it should, the number should drop down. Yes, 58. So if I press Q, now everything looks perfect. No imperfections. Now let's see, maybe we can move it over here. Then that part should be beveled. I mean, you can see the curve. So select H, bevel these like that with one subdivision. Then just like the other one, we have a bevel, or I should say a seam. We can see it. We will need to extrude. So why don't we use these instead of creating new ones? I'm gonna just lower these. For here though, we will need more resolutions. So I'm gonna select line cut, create a new cut from here to here so that I can move that here, but it's not gonna be enough to get that curve. I mean, you can move it over here, but I don't think this is gonna give us a good result. So let's use or try to create new edges. Like I can make another one from here, which will go to the top, then can move it over here. It's not gonna be enough though. We will need a supporting edge here as well, like that. This is gonna give us a triangle. I'm just gonna dissolve that. If that won't work, you can try melt. If that won't work, you are gonna just split it. By the way, it looks like we had 2 edges on here, so that was good. Now close polygon hole, and something is going on. Let's press Q. You can see that something is going on over here. I will select these. I have 4 points. I'm gonna weld them. They should fix it. No, more. There's something more. Yes, this one. I should connect these. Okay. Now I'm gonna click here and finish it over here. I can move it over here, that one to here. Then we can move these. I forgot to finish these. Let's do that with line cuts quickly. And move this back. Okay. I will double click these, and to get that bevel, I'm gonna move them like that. Also, I should move these as well. And the top edges. Okay, now let's try to get these seams. Oh, before doing that, let's check the top part, because you can judge from the image. The top part should be, softer. If I enable symmetry and enable subdivision surface, this is not quite like what I want. First thing, that edge is causing some sharpness, obviously. So why don't we just select them and solve them for the moment. Press Q. Okay, better, but not enough. So I will select these only all the way to the end and move them up. This is gonna make the shape softer. I mean, if I press Q, you can see it. But this time I should lower them all together with selecting this. Let's do that in the front view. Press Q and lower this. Okay, much better. We may get some problems, but can solve these easily. Just move them. Maybe we can move that edge too. So this is gonna make the end curvier. If I press Q, you can see the effect. We will need supporting edge over here because that part should be sharper. Let's add onto here, here. Then obviously we will need a supporting edge here. So I don't know what happened here, but I should move it that point here. Maybe here to get a softer shape. We are gonna check this later. Now I want to focus on the seams. I'm gonna double click. Or we can select it on, press Ctrl and Shift, select the last edge you want to select. Then I will continue to select the seams. It looks like these points has moved. I'm gonna move them back. Edge mode. So these are supposed to be beveled. Bevel these. I'm gonna bevel them in two subdivisions. So I can select the center polygons. But I want to change my filtering to uniform. So this is gonna get rid of these mess. Check the other side. Everything looks good. Now I should switch to polygon mode, make a loop selection, select center polygons. Then I'm gonna push them back with normal move tool. Great, press Q. Maybe more. Actually, I'm gonna undo and increase my bevel offset. Something like that. Polygon mode, loop selection, and move these. Then we will need these edges to be sharp, but I don't want that edge So let's see what we can do. I can make a loop selection, then deselect that one. Up to that point, I can move on with line cuts. I can then points mode, slide tool, press Ctrl and slide. Let's press Q. Okay, not bad. It's coming together. But we need to fix some stuff. Like here we have an empty point. That should be connected. I can make a loop cut. Then connect these 2 points. That should fix it. Let's see. Yeah, not bad. I can move these to get a better shape, maybe. Okay, now let's try to handle the inside. So let's see. That point should be connected somewhere. Let's try that. I'm gonna connect that point to that one. Then I'm gonna dissolve that, create a new one. Then weld that point to that one. So these are all gonna be quads. Now this can go here. Now let's check the other side. I can connect here, then create another polygon. Now these are gonna be all quads. Now all I need to do connect that point. I'm gonna go here, then connect these and finish it over here. We have made some duplicate points. I'm gonna quickly merge these. I am not really satisfied over here. I'm gonna try to move these, and maybe I can slide them. Now we can make these edges sharper, or before doing that, we have unfinished cuts like here. Let's do this quickly. Then let's see here. Let's just connect these. Now I'm gonna select edges which should be sharper. I will try to use slide tool, press Ctrl, slide. If you get these hard edges, it means that you need to higher your long angle, like above 8 and 9. I think for the last thing we can select these edges. Select the first one, press Ctrl and Shift, select the last one, not that one. I'm gonna slide this to the left, so this is gonna give a more rounded shape. If I subdivide it right now, we have still some sharpness. So I'm gonna lower these, move these to the left with slide tool. Now this is gonna give me a softer shape. We may need to change some stuff though, like I need to move that edge, maybe that one slightly. Okay. To make these seams more obvious, we can add spotting edges like that. Actually, no, the loop cut will stop at here, so you can double click on this, and with slide tool, by pressing Ctrl, you can create these new edges. Same here. Press Q and looking nice. Now let's work on the blade. I will unhide that one. Let's hide the top part because we need to connect these edges with Chance 2. By the way, that point shouldn't be over here. Maybe we can move it here. Another thing, the object, I got it wrong at the first time. So these points should be on this black part. There is going to be another blade on the other side. Another thing, I should break the symmetry of that object because it is not symmetrical. You know, you see that edge. But we have other objects, but I don't want to break their symmetry. I will just simply duplicate that symmetry. I will delete all the objects except the blade. Make the symmetry editable, press C. Take it out of that group, delete that. And I'm gonna delete the blade in the symmetry group. Now this is a single object, no symmetries. First, let's select line cut. Or first I should close that hole with close polygon hole tool. Then points mode, connect the points with line cut. I will continue with the line cuts. This time though, I will just turn off visible only. Cut here, here. Then I'm gonna stop. Switch to points mode. I'm gonna move these points. Press Ctrl and merge these points. Then, of course, this part should be really sharp. I will switch to scale tool and change my z-axis to 100% so I can scale them from here. There should be enough. We will need, of course, supporting edges. Let's add a subdivision surface over the top. First one here. This one will not work and the loop cut stops here, which indicates that there is something wrong on either here or here. I'm gonna press Q and let me change it to wireframes. So you can see that there is something going on over here. So I'm gonna check the points count. No, 3, 3, 3. Okay, I found it. It's here. I'm gonna put these maybe here as well. So it looks like we have a bunch of them. I'm gonna select them all, Ctrl A and optimize. Okay, now let's try to cut here with loop cuts. Because of that point, it's not gonna give me a perfect loop cut. So why don't we just select the edges and bevel these with one subdivision. This is gonna be a mess, but we're gonna fix it in a minute. Actually, let's do it. Select the polygons and scale them to 0 on the y-axis. Then we can rotate them. Okay, we're gonna check them anyway. No one here, but because of these in again, I will get the same problem. Also, I'm gonna move these as well. So I will cut here with line cuts manually. Unfortunately, sometimes there is no easy way, but I should have turned off the visible only of the line cuts. Go back and turn that off on. Merge these points with slide tool. SQ. Everything is looking great. Now I should slide this. Let's unhide the top. Actually, unhide the bottom as well. Maybe cylinder. And enable subdivision surfaces. Looking good. I will duplicate the blade. We will need another one on the other side, like here, but we need to flip it upside down, or I should say flip the Z size to -1. I'm gonna move it over here. This one's shape is a little different, so I'm gonna select these points. Subdivision surface won't work, of course. We need to make this single group. So these don't need to be that high. I'm gonna lower these. These are gonna be inside the bottom object. Now I think it's time to make the symmetry editable because we need to fix here. Press C, make it editable. I can select them and move them under that null. Now we can say goodbye to these objects. I'm gonna rename that to blade. So I should select these points. Yes, press Q. I'm gonna move them over here. As I said, I don't have much idea about the mechanism of the object. Judging from this view, I suppose it's supposed to be something like that. I don't know. Then let's play with this more. I'm gonna press Shift, add an FFT deformer to the bottom part. Select FFT points mode. I'm gonna select these and scale them, but we should reset our axis to 0 to scale them from center like that. Then maybe we can deselect this and scale them this time only. Now I can apply that 50 to the bottom object, connect objects and delete. I think at this point I should, let's see, I should change the bottom object's center axis to somewhere around here. To be exact, right on that point. Let's enable axis, move it over here. To be precise, you can enable snap and snap it over here. Now I can make the cylinder child of the bottom and the second blade. So that if I select the bottom object I can move my object, sorry, not that side, but this side. Now we are ready to cut whatever you want. Let's check object one more time. Let's make some quick materials for a good representation. Like, I suppose we have 2 materials, actually 1, 2, 3, 4. These are gonna be easy. Black, add a GGX, change the Fresnel, and some, of course, roughness. I will need an orange one, like that maybe. So this is going to the bottom. Then this goes to the cylinder, and this goes to the top. This one, we will need some selections, UNL, UNF, and assign that like 1. Nice. For the metal parts, I'm gonna duplicate the black one, because this way I don't need to change the color. I will just change my EOR to something like 8 and lower my roughness to, let's say, 20. I'm gonna assign that to the plate 1. Yes. Then we have another one, but this one is less metallic, so I should lower EOR to the, let's say, 2. And this goes to plate. I will increase my viewport subdivision to 3 to get a better result. Okay, looking nice. Let's check the wireframes in isopalms. Alright, everything is looking great. Let's move that image plane and see how far we get closer. I mean, not bad. I'm really happy with that. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're here, that means that you watched the whole video. I mean, congratulations. That means that you want to really learn 3D modeling. So good luck with that. In the next part, in the next tutorial, I will try to unwrap these objects. Until then, take care and I see you later. Bye.